standing there and told me, she said, well, this is a shock to both of us, that she was telling me, I wish that Billie could come. And Liddy said, I said, well, the only way she could possibly come is it would be a wheelchair. And I said, she said, and you drove in.
Well.
Now, I call that an intervention.
That's right.
And that very evening, she started going down. She took double pneumonia. She was coughing then.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that God put me over there.
Oh, that's right.
And when I got my coffee in, you see I could do better.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting to hear how that stuff you drank, if you didn't go to the bathroom.
No, see my bowels move that day real good. They move every day. And I drank that, and I said, you know, I cleared out a path to the bathroom. I drank it about 10:30, half of it, like I said, and I slept soundly till 7:30. Still no bowel movement. And I thought, well, you know, I don't get it, but anyway, I drank the rest of it, still no bowel movement. And you know, it constipated me.
Well, what did you drink?
It was a half a gallon jug.
Yeah.
It said barium CT. And that, all I figure is that was so white. And then they put the dye in. But it was not an enema. In fact, it worked just the opposite.
You drank the barium.
Yeah.
They had you drink that before you went?
Yeah. And some more in there.
That doesn't clean you out.
They must have not wanted me to. And when she called me the next evening after the CAT scan, I don't think they intended to. That probably would show up white.
Yeah, but you have to clean out before you do the barium. Well, they got their stuff turned around because you can't have any stool.
Is this new?
It's got to be, or they did it ass backwards. You have to clean your colon out and then drink the barium.
When she called me the next afternoon, well, see, that's the only time I ever had that it emptied you. Ask Mark.
Well, he's sitting here on the phone.
Mark, what is barium CT?
I don't know. It sounds like that chalk.
It is chalk.
Be radioactive.
And
it's radioactive.
And they give that to you when you get to the place.
Right. Give me some more.
Before, well, my God, they gave you the wrong.
They gave me Gatorade with that in it. And then he put a needle in my vein on my hand and gave the dye.
Right. Well, have you got results from that?
She called me the next afternoon and said I couldn't hardly wait. I mean, this is the doctor. For that pathologist to send this, she said, everything's fine and working just like it's supposed to. And she said that thick lining in your uterus is fibrosis.
Well, I never.
But when I heard of barium, that's what they used to give in the hospital.
Well, that's what you drink before the test.
Well,
I think they gave you the wrong thing at the pharmacy or wherever you picked it up.
The hospital.
Well, they should have given you a gallon thing of, I forget what it's called.
Go lightly.
Go lightly.
See, that's all I've ever had.
Yes. You've got to clean out before you drink the barium.
You never found me cleaned out.
Well, no.
And it constipated?
Yes, ma'am. You had a double dose.
Well, I told Cyrus, I said, I think it's my soul. I told Hardy last night. I think I'm over-medicated.
Yeah. You were over.
Gone since?
You know what I told Reba? Y'all there?
Yeah.
I said, when I die, please sue all of them. So, but I do. I think they tried their best to kill me. But you don't go till God gets ready for you.
That's right.
I always told Effie, not your time. The doctors can't kill you, and they can't cure you.
That's right. That's right.
If it's not your time, they can't kill you.
Well, they gave you the wrong prep. You got it the day before, right?
2 days before.
Yes, ma'am. That should have been go lightly.
Well, I don't know what I've got. But I have a notion that that's what Brand, the lung specialist, was punching. He didn't understand that down there. And see, now I don't know what I got. But I ain't calling them. Like I told Cyrus, I'm not in Betty, Virginia Park. But I do think they're in too big a hurry, all of them.
Yes, and they're humans and they make mistakes.
Bet. You know who's watching out for us? God, and tries to give us enough common sense to watch out for ourselves.
Yeah.
So I pulled all those medication sheets that I was taking, and 4 out of 8 warnings, and get in touch with your doctor immediately. And I've just sat here and been sick.
Lord. Well, we've got a new saying, me and Mark, because he gets in a flux on some of his places he has to go to try to do computers, and we used chair winches for a while about people that were just heathens, and so now we can say, he'll be calling saying, well, I'm on a spinning Jenny at Betty, Virginia Park.
Oh, well, that tickled Cyrus. He laughed, but I didn't know nothing to do but comfort him. But I did give him a lecture about the care he would get. I said, son, don't do that. I said, you got excellent care. I said, if you have to wait, you still get care.
That's right.
And if they ever get you on their system, it goes pretty fast.
Yeah, he said he's got a card. That they swipe somewhere and or put it in the computer and it's all his info.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he got his card.
Yeah.
Now, if he gets sick, he's got a place to go.
Yeah.
He went that far.
But I was going to ask you about Cherwinchie. What little town was that in? The Cherwinchie Creek or?
Cherwinchie Creek. I don't know. Or could it have been around Glenmora? That's what it seems to be. I haven't told y'all about that bunch calling me from. A woman called me and told me, well, Gertrude called me and said, Billie, I may have made a bad mistake. It said somebody named Willis called here and wanted to talk to Glenn. And I told him he had passed away and gave him your number, and I'm sorry if I made a mistake. I said, no, you didn't make a mistake. Well, they called and came. And there was, do you remember that boy that was in the picture with Mama and Grandma and Grandpa? Good-looking boy, about Mama's age.
I think.
Marshall Willis.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. No one ever told me where he came from. I thought he was one of Grandpa's grandchildren, but no one ever said. Then, this man, J.C. Willis, and his sisters Carol, wife Louise, they called me and said, wondered if I had any information. His grandmother was Mary Willis. Well, that was Mama's sister. That's where she used to take me when I was 5 and 6 years old. And Aunt Mary Plumley, I just loved to go there. She had a big old collie dog that at the fence, at the gate, we went to leave. Stayed right under her. And she would always say, have Billie to sing me Lamplight Time in the Valley. Well, Mama was proud of my singing, I guess, and I would sing it for her. But those people come up here, and he is another Marshall, and Lawrence was his father, Lawrence Willis. And they said that both of them were illegitimate. And they call me nearly every day now. They come up here and spend the day, and we went in Grandma's trunk. And I said, I don't think I have any pictures of her, but I have in my mind. And I said, she was tall and pretty and was my favorite. And lo and behold, Charlotte, I was thumbing through my scrapbook looking back.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, here she is. And that, I had never seen people that happy.
Mm.
But they left here they had left me more than I. They
Yeah.
have Grandpa's folks' death certificate
Mm.
and left me a copy.
Well.
And I told them, I said, I want you all to meet my nephew because they was close to Wade and Grant. But he said, Lawrence was his dad, Lawrence was his father. Because he's up past you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let me go back now. That's Lawrence must have been his grandfather. Now I'm getting mixed up. Mary was his grandmother. Lawrence, I guess, was his father. But Mama couldn't have had any children.
Well, who was his mother?
Mary. No. I don't know who his mother was, but it would be Lawrence's wife. And see, he said no one ever tried to initiate anything with them. And that Aunt Mary had those two boys. And he don't know if they have the same father, but he said, I understand. See, Aunt Mary married a Plumlee, and one was named Letty and one was named Carl, and I think they used to visit up here.
Mm.
So I'm sure that Lawrence was his grandfather, and Aunt Mary would be his great-grandmother. Am I right?
I don't know.
He's about your age.
I don't know.
Eva would have been, Mama couldn't have had children that old, and Aunt Mary couldn't have either.
Mm.
Well, I'll have to get off and study it out. My brain is not working. Like I said, I'm on that wheel.
Spinning, Jenny.
It was a most enjoyable day. And they called back and told me that Carol, his sister, said, I realized that we wore you out. Said I told them all the way home that we stayed too long.
Mm.
And I told them, no, it was a good day.
Yeah.
But he told me, and she told me that Aunt Mary then went to married a Slayton. A man, the last name was Slayton. And he would not have the boys. And so she then married Plumlee. And see, she had a family. Well, I know of two. Oh, Ruth Randolph was the other one. And he went to prison. And when I sang them Lamplight and Time in the Valley, and gave them 2 letters that Aunt Mary wrote so they could get copies, wrote to Mama, said, I'm doing everything I know to get him out. Then they had a newspaper article that Carol had found at Oakdale or Glenmore, wherever, that he had, somebody was stealing his chickens. This is Randolph now, Aunt Mary's oldest Plumlee boy. And he fixed a trap with a gun that if they opened the door, the gun would go off. And he killed a 12-year-old boy.
Mm.
But they said he picked up his body and went, to the sheriff. I'm telling you, we have a colorful past, don't we?
Yeah.
But he went to prison. Then J.C. called back, the letter that said, I'm trying everything I know to get him out.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you know, that date on that envelope don't correspond with this article. I said, well, he may have had to go back.
Mm.
Charlotte, Mark, I'm getting a call, and it may be the hospital, and if it's
Okay.
anything urgent, I'll call you back.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.